Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day. Last week we spoke about when you try to get up the left ladder to the third step of happiness and you used things or events or people outside of you to get you to happiness. I mentioned last week, not only does it cost you money, not only can it be taken away, but the third detail is it can actually weaken you. How is that? Very, very simple. Okay? We all have our muscles in our legs. And the more you use those muscles and you keep on using those muscles strengthen you. What happens? You decide, there's all these battery-driven little mopeds, whatever you call them, or someone's going to carry you around. So from when you wake up in the morning, cold turkey, you stop moving your legs. You're sitting on this electrical wheelchair, if I could call it. I don't think there's a name for that. Or a moped. And you use that not for 20 years or for 2 years. I would say you use it even for 5 months, 3 months. And then one day you decide, no, I want to go back to walking. There's a good chance you will barely be able to stand on your feet because now your muscles have shrunk and became weaker because you used external sources to get you around town. We are created with a mechanism that digests our food. We are created with this phenomenal organ called a heart that circulates our blood and our oxygen about 100,000 times a day. We have a mechanism in the brain that could create tranquility, contentment, and blissfulness that reaches to a pure happiness. I've never uttered these words, a pure happiness. That's the right ladder. Wow, I like that, a pure happiness. Now what happens is when you do not use it because you are depressed, because obviously you do not know how to use it. You think it's because of the situations, because you lost all your money, you went through a divorce, a child is not talking to you, your parent is not talking to you, you were rejected, you were kicked out of the house, you went from foster home to foster home, whatever your situation might be. Because it's external situations that make you sad, you need external situations to make you happy, which means basically you're not in control. Now, not being in control might be a little bit disturbing, might be a little bit uncomfortable, might be a little bit difficult, but every single day, every week, every month, and every year, you keep on using external means to bring your joy level higher, your happiness, and to reach to the third step, which is happiness. You're telling your brain without even knowing it that I'm a nobody. I am basically a feather on the ground that every single wind is going to blow around. So I can't really be around hurtful people, and whenever I need to go public situations, I need to have a few cups of wine because I always need something outside, because your internal anchor to get you anchored to the level of contentment and blissfulness that leads to the pure happiness is gone. So the more you use the external things, the down is deeper, and therefore people get used to a certain level of drugs, but now they need more. In addition, the body got used to it. And as well, because the anxiety level keeps on going more and more. And therefore, after most people actually begin to get very, very frustrated. For some reason, it takes them so many years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I've seen people just lose it in their late 50s or 60s. For those people that had all the money to do whatever they want, they just get exhausted and they get burned out, and then they go to clinical depression, we're going to call it, which is a lie for itself. We'll talk about it another time. I'm going to explain what clinical depression means, because clinical depression is real. But how it happens, I think society lies to us. And then we just can't handle it because you have validated to your body that I have no control, I have no means inside of me, inside my brain exercise, because no one ever told me to read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Because no one told me, I think I cannot do it. I think I don't know how to do it. Because no one told me, which we'll talk about later in the series, of how our healthy emotional immune system was shrunk to almost 100%, and we ran away from the right ladder to the left ladder. And that's why it is. The question which I will leave off with, which is a simple question. If you could receive happiness for free versus paying money, why would you pay money? If I take you to my Tesla car dealership and I show you two identical Teslas, the S model, not only the S model, but the flat S model, which is another 15,000. It's 90,000. And you want to buy from me a Tesla. And I say, these are both the S flat model. They're both 89,990. I could cut for you a deal if you do the purchase within the next week. You got to do the purchase next week. However, I know this sounds crazy. The one on the right is for free. The one on the left costs $90,000. I know this sounds pathetic, but if you believe it or not, 99% of people on the West will actually pay for happiness. They will pay for the Tesla. So my question is, if you could get a free Tesla, why are you paying for it? If you could get a Tesla that will guarantee never get stolen from you versus one that could get stolen from you, why would you ever get it? If you could get a Tesla that the value of the Tesla goes up within time, which I know doesn't happen to cars, but let's pretend it does. It's like real estate that always over long term goes up in value versus cars always go down in value. In value, why would you get the Tesla, A, that costs you money instead of getting it for free? B, it could be taken away, stolen from you after you buy it. C, it goes down in value. The first car I showed you on the right side is free. It cannot get stolen from you. And it actually goes up in value. Why would 99% of us go to the direction of horror and destruction? Please join me next week. Till then, always do remember, regardless if you're happy or sad, confused or frustrated, you are way greater than you think you are. Bless you. Thanks for listening.